for the next 10 seconds, stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you might completely rewrite the way you face your mornings. Every single day, you wake up with two choices: step into the world carrying your worth, or step into it carrying your wounds. One of these paths builds your life. The other steals it, and only you get to choose. I want to start with a truth we forget far too often. Your morning isn't just the start of your day, it's the start of your power. Those first few moments, they're sacred. They build the emotional architecture that holds you upright when life gets loud, messy, or painfully unpredictable. Most of us wake up already negotiating with our fears. Before our feet even hit the floor, we're replaying doubts, failures, unfinished tasks, or someone else's expectations echoing in our heads. And without realizing it, we walk into our day already defeated. But you are not here to live from a defeated place. You are here to live from a decided place. So here's the first mindset message I want you to tattoo on your morning. I will not carry yesterday into today. Say it slowly, feel it, let it land, because yesterday might have bruised you, drained you, or disappointed you. But it has absolutely no authority over who you become today. You are not obligated to relive an old story. You are allowed to release it. You are allowed to rewrite it. You are allowed to rise from it when you wake up and declare that yesterday's failures, mistakes, misunderstandings, or wounds no longer get to drive your life. You create emotional room for clarity, courage, creativity, and confidence to walk in. You reclaim your power. You reclaim your day. You reclaim yourself. This is the first brick in the foundation we're building, one mindset message at a time. And when each one lands, when each one becomes part of your morning ritual, you will feel your entire life shift. There's a quiet lie many of us carry, one that slips into our bones long before we ever notice it. Sounds like this: don't be too much. Don't speak too loudly. Don't shine too brightly. Don't take up space. But here's the truth you need to reclaim every single morning. I deserve to take up space, not because you earned it, not because you proved anything, not because you're perfect, but because you exist. And your existence is enough. Most of us spend years trying to shrink ourselves to fit a world that keeps demanding smaller versions of us. We tiptoe around our dreams. We silence our voice to avoid conflict. We dim our light so someone else won't feel threatened. We make ourselves small in relationships, workplaces, and conversations, hoping that being less will somehow make life easier, but shrinking doesn't save you. Shrinking suffocates you. Every time you minimize your needs, your opinions, your talents, your heart, you teach the world how to treat you. And you teach yourself what to believe about your worth. So this morning message isn't polite, it isn't subtle, it isn't soft, it's a declaration, a rising, a reclaiming. When you start your day by saying, I deserve to take up space, you are reminding your soul that you belong in every room you walk into. You're reminding your mind that your ideas matter. You're reminding your heart that your feelings are valid. You're reminding your spirit that you don't have to apologize simply for being here. You aren't an inconvenience. You aren't an accident. You aren't in the way. You are a whole human being with a voice, a presence, a story, and a purpose. Taking up space doesn't mean overshadowing others. It means honoring yourself. It means standing firmly in your truth without shrinking to make others comfortable. And when you do that, when you allow yourself to be fully present, fully expressed, fully alive, you don't just start your day strong. You start your life strong. There's a moment every morning, a small invisible moment, when you decide what energy you will carry into the world. Most people miss it. They wake up and immediately hand that choice to something or someone else, a stressful message, a memory of yesterday, a person who disappointed them, a fear that hasn't even happened yet. But here's the mindset shift that changes everything. I am responsible for my energy, not the people around you, not the circumstances you can't control, not the noise, not the pressure, not the chaos. Your energy is your emotional fingerprint. It follows you into every room, every conversation, every opportunity. It shapes how people experience you, and more importantly, how you experience yourself. And the hard truth, we can't always choose what happens to us, but we can always choose the energy we bring to meet it. Every morning, you get a chance to reset the tone of your life. You get to ask yourself, what am I bringing into today? Fear or faith, bitterness or courage, anxiety or intention? When you don't take ownership of that choice, the world will choose for you, and the world usually chooses urgency, stress, distraction, comparison, and overwhelm. But when you reclaim responsibility for your energy, You take back your emotional freedom. It means you don't have to mirror someone else's negativity. You don't have to absorb someone else's chaos. You don't have to match someone else's anger. You don't have to dim yourself to make someone comfortable. Your energy is yours to protect, yours to guide, yours to elevate. It's not selfish, it's sacred. This mindset message teaches you to stop reacting and start responding. It teaches you to pause before pouring. It teaches you that emotional boundaries aren't walls, they're wisdom. And when you step into your day saying, I am responsible for my energy, something powerful happens. You stop letting life push you and you start leading your life instead. You become grounded. You become intentional. You become unshakable. There's a quiet war so many of us fight every single morning. The war between who we are and who we think we're supposed to be. And perfection, perfection is loud. It screams in your head before you even brush your teeth. Don't be flawless. Don't mess up. Don't fall behind. Don't show weakness. Don't let anyone see the cracks. But here's the message that frees your spirit and rewrites your story. I choose progress over perfection, because perfection is a trap, one that looks shiny, polished, admirable, but it's a prison disguised as a standard. Perfection tells you, don't start until you have it all figured out. Don't try if you might fail. Don't take the next step unless it's impressive. But perfection doesn't care about your growth. It only cares about your performance. And when you live for performance, you lose connection with yourself, with your courage, with your purpose. Progress, on the other hand, is honest. It's messy. It's forgiving. It's real. Progress says, show up even if you're scared. Take the step even if it's shaky. Start before you feel ready. Learn as you go. Choosing progress over perfection means you let yourself be human. You let yourself be a learner. You let yourself grow at the speed of authenticity instead of the speed of expectation. And here's the beautiful thing. Progress builds confidence. Perfection kills it. Every morning you tell yourself, I choose progress. You create space for resilience to rise. You remind your heart that imperfect steps are still steps. You remind your mind that small wins become big breakthroughs. You remind your soul that your job is not to impress, it's to evolve. The world doesn't need you flawless. The world needs you becoming. This mindset message isn't just about productivity. It's about compassion. It's about letting your effort count. It's about allowing your journey to be a journey, not a performance. And when you start your day with progress, you end your day with pride every morning before the world even wakes up. Your mind can turn into a battlefield. Doubts, worries, self-criticism, they creep in quietly, whispering stories that sound like truth simply because they showed up first. And if you're not careful, you start believing those whispers, carrying them like heavy stones into your day. But here's the mindset message that frees you from that weight. I am not my negative thoughts. Your mind produces thoughts the way your lungs produce air. It's constant, automatic, and sometimes polluted. But just because a thought appears doesn't mean it's accurate, and it definitely doesn't mean it defines you. Negative thoughts are often old echoes of pain, old programming, old wounds, old fears that got comfortable pretending to be facts. But they are not you. You are the observer of your thoughts, not the prisoner of them. You get to question them, challenge them, replace them. You get to ask, is this the truth, or is this just fear wearing a costume? Because here's the deeper truth. Your brain is wired for survival, not happiness. It scans for danger. Even when the danger is imagined, it magnifies flaws, amplifies insecurities, repeats old stories, and it does all of that to protect you. But often, it ends up protecting you from growth, from courage, from connection, from your own potential. When you remind yourself each morning, I am not my negative thoughts, you create emotional distance space. Breathing room. Suddenly the thought loses its power. It becomes just a thought, not a prophecy, not a judgment, not a truth. You stop letting a fearful mind dictate the life of a brave soul. And this message is not about ignoring your feelings. It's about refusing to confuse temporary thoughts with permanent identity. It's about grounding yourself in who you truly are, capable, evolving, resilient, worthy. Negative thoughts may visit, but they don't get to move in. They don't get to lead your day. They don't get to define your worth. You do. Every day arrives carrying its own mysteries, unexpected conversations, sudden challenges, small victories, quiet disappointments, moments you can't predict. And for many people, the morning begins with anxiety about those unknowns. That feeling of, what if I can't handle it, sits right at the edge of your chest, heavy and loud. But there is a message, steady, grounding, powerful, that shifts everything inside you. I can handle whatever comes today. This isn't blind confidence. It's not pretending life is easy. It's not ignoring the fact that some days will stretch you thin. This message is about remembering your history, your resilience, your evidence. You have survived every hard day you've ever had. You have outlived every heartbreak. You have climbed out of every dark moment. You have rebuilt yourself after storms you didn't think you'd make it through. You have proof of your strength. So when you say, I can handle whatever comes today, you are reminding yourself of the power you've already carried, of the strength you've already demonstrated. You're not claiming the day will be perfect. You're claiming that you are capable. Life will throw things at you that feel unfair, overwhelming, heavy, or confusing. But your ability to respond, adapt, pause, breathe, adjust, and rise, that's your superpower. And it's a superpower you have sharpened through every struggle you never asked for. You are stronger than your fear. You are wiser than your doubt. You are calmer than your anxiety wants you to believe. You are more resilient than any challenge waiting for you today. This message anchors you. It stabilizes your mind. It calms your nervous system. It reminds you that you can meet life where it is without collapsing under its weight. And here's the truth you need to hold. Confidence doesn't come from knowing what will happen. Confidence comes from knowing you will rise no matter what happens. So start your morning with this certainty, this groundedness, this quiet internal strength, but you can handle it. You always have, you always will. Every morning, the world starts pulling at you before you even fully wake up. Notifications, responsibilities, other people's expectations, unfinished tasks. Worries disguised as urgency. Everything demands your attention. And if you're not careful, your peace becomes the first thing you sacrifice. But here is the mindset message that protects your spirit. My peace is my priority, not an afterthought, not a luxury, not something you hope to find when the day settles. Because let's be honest, most days never settle. Your peace is the foundation that carries you. It's what steadies your mind, softens your reactions, sharpens your decisions, and protects your emotional well-being. When you lose your peace, you lose access to your clarity, your compassion, your strength, and your intuition. This message is a boundary, a declaration, a line drawn with love, not anger. It says, I refuse to let someone else's chaos control me. I no longer let guilt decide my boundaries. I do not participate in conversations that steal my calm. I don't have to respond immediately just because someone wants me to. I'm allowed to choose myself without apology. And here's the truth most people don't want to admit. If you don't intentionally protect your peace, the world will unintentionally take it. People will drain you without meaning to. Situations will overwhelm you without warning. Stress will creep in through the cracks you didn't guard. So every morning, reminding yourself, my peace is my priority, is a commitment, a promise to respond instead of react, a promise to pause before letting someone pull you into their storm, a promise to choose stillness over chaos, grounding over rushing, clarity over noise. Peace doesn't mean withdrawing from life. It means showing up from a place of strength instead of survival. It means choosing emotional responsibility over emotional exhaustion. And when peace becomes your priority, something profound happens. You stop being controlled by the world and you start moving through it with confidence, calmness, and authority. Your day changes. Your relationships change. Your life changes. There's a deeply ingrained belief many of us carry, and it shows up the moment our eyes open. I have to earn my rest. We wake up already rushing, already tense, already bracing for the day. We treat rest like a reward instead of a requirement. And guilt, persistent, heavy guilt tries to convince us that slowing down is laziness, weakness, or irresponsibility. But here's the truth that liberates your humanity. I am allowed to rest without guilt. Rest is not a betrayal of your ambition. It is what fuels it. Rest is not the opposite of productivity. It is a necessary part of it. Rest is not a luxury. It is a biological, emotional, and spiritual need. And yet we carry this fear that if we rest, we will fall behind, that the world will move without us, that someone will outwork us, outperform us, outshine us. But the cost of constant pushing is always the same: burnout, resentment, disconnection, exhaustion. You do not have to reach collapse to deserve rest. You do not have to run yourself into the ground to justify a pause. You do not have to prove your worth by how tired you are. When you wake up and choose the mindset, I am allowed to rest without guilt, something powerful shifts. You begin honoring your humanity instead of denying it. You start treating your body with compassion instead of punishment. You allow yourself to breathe without apologizing for needing air. Rest sharpens clarity. Rest restores emotional bandwidth. Rest rekindles creativity. Rest builds resilience. Rest reconnects you to your own intuition. And here's the deeper truth: rest makes you stronger, not weaker. It reminds you that your worth is not measured by your output. Your value is not determined by your speed. Your identity is not tied to your productivity. You are a human being, not a machine, and honoring your limits is a sign of wisdom, not failure. So when the day starts, carry this message with you. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to be human, without guilt, without apology, without shame. Too often, we wait for monumental moments to celebrate. We tell ourselves, I'll be proud when I hit that big goal, finish that project, get that recognition, achieve that milestone. And while ambition is important, this mindset keeps us in a constant state of not enough. It convinces us that small steps don't matter, tiny victories don't count, and incremental progress is invisible. But here's the morning mindset that transforms your perception of success. I will celebrate small wins because life is built from the accumulation of small, consistent actions. The tiny, often unnoticed steps: waking up on time, sending that important email, choosing courage over comfort, speaking your truth, setting a boundary. These are the building blocks of achievement. They are evidence that you are moving forward even when the finish line seems far away. Celebrating small wins shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, from self-criticism to self-compassion, from frustration to gratitude. Every time you acknowledge a small victory, you reinforce your confidence. You remind yourself that progress is happening, even if it's not yet visible to the outside world. You remind your brain that effort matters. You remind your heart that you are capable, resilient, and moving in the right direction. This practice rewires your mindset from never enough to I am enough and I am growing. It creates momentum, it fuels motivation, it builds a sense of accomplishment that carries you forward step by step, day by day. And here's the beautiful truth: small wins compound. They build character, they teach patience, they cultivate resilience. They remind you that life is a series of moments, each deserving recognition, each shaping the person you are becoming. So today, start your morning saying, I will celebrate small wins, notice the progress, praise your effort, honor the courage it took to keep going. You don't have to wait for perfection, recognition, or monumental success to validate yourself. Every small step counts. Every small step matters. Every small step is worth celebrating. This is the message that ties everything together, the one that closes the circle of your morning mindset and sets the tone for your entire day. I am becoming my strongest self. Say it slowly. Let it sink into every part of you. Let it wash over your fears, your doubts, your old stories. Let it remind you that every message you've repeated this morning, the ones about progress over perfection, peace, energy, rest, courage, celebration, they're all pieces of the same truth. You are in the process of becoming, and that process is powerful, messy, sacred, and unstoppable. Becoming your strongest self doesn't mean you are flawless. It doesn't mean you will never fail, never stumble, never feel pain. Becoming your strongest self means showing up anyway, choosing courage over comfort, choosing growth over stagnation, choosing love over fear, choosing yourself. Even when the world pushes back, every thought you decide to nurture, every mindset message you speak to yourself, every small win you honor, every boundary you protect, every act of rest and self-compassion, they all compound into strength. Strength not measured by muscle or accolades, but by resilience, integrity, authenticity, and the courage to rise again and again. And here's the truth I want you to carry beyond this morning. You are not the mistakes of yesterday. You are not the doubts in your mind. You are not the chaos around you. You are the sum of every intentional choice you make, every moment you reclaim, every whisper of courage you act upon. You are becoming, and that is enough. So when the day challenges you, when the noise distracts you, when fear whispers in your ear, remember these messages. Let them anchor you. Let them guide you. Let them remind you that your life is not defined by what happens to you. It's defined by how you show up every morning for yourself. Start today with strength. Speak these truths. Own these messages. Step fully into your life. Because when you do, there's nothing you cannot handle, nothing you cannot overcome, and nothing you cannot become. Rise, speak, step. You are becoming your strongest self.